Hi guys, it's GammaQueen here, and today we'll be building and managing my first restaurant with the new game pack that was just released this week. It's called Dine Out, where you can run and manage a restaurant. You can also go visiting restaurants. It's really fun. It's a really great opportunity for your Sims to sort of socialize and get their relationships up and go for little dates and outings. It's really fun. I've been playing it all week. It's quite addicting once you get into running your own restaurant. So check out my last video where I did some basic overview of some of the new stuff that's in the pack. It's very cool. So right now I'm building a restaurant for my Sim self and my husband's himself. We have our own family. We do a series called Married to a Simmer. We've done only a couple episodes, hoping to do more, but this provides a good opportunity for maybe us to do another episode. So this is us running our restaurant, but to do that we sort of needed a restaurant. There are a couple that come with the game pack that you can put into your neighborhoods, but I sort of had a really good idea for one and I wanted to build it. So welcome to the Three-Eyed Raven. You might get that reference, you might not, but kudos to you if you do. We're really big fans of the show, so I wanted to make a restaurant that's sort of fantasy, medieval inspired, and focus on some really pop culture-y sort of food choices. Like we serve ice cream that's the dragon's breath, so I looked for food that's sort of related to science fiction, fantasy, anything really cool sounding like that. So the atmosphere is, medieval, sort of that sort of aesthetic. Lots of wood, and it's sort of got this dark, moody atmosphere, nice fireplace, candelabras, so it's really cool. This is actually before I added an outdoor patio section, which I have now, and I've added a screenshot to that at the end, so you'll be able to see what that looks like. I think it adds a lot more space to have tables and to seat your Sims. So this is the bar upstairs. I haven't quite figured out how to use it yet. I don't know if chefs will go up there. I don't think they will. So we only have space for one chef. I have the tiny little kitchen and his chef station. So bars, I think I might have to run it myself. And that is one thing that I don't like about the pack. I know that it's a lot of work managing the restaurant, but I would like to have had the option to be your own chef, and you can't really do that. So, but I guess I could be my own bartender, so I might do that once the restaurant's a little more successful and I don't have to manage it. Like if Ryan's with me and he's there, his Sim's there doing the customer stuff, then maybe I could go up and do my own bartending. But I haven't seen a lot of people use it. Like I've tried it and I haven't seen the Sims go up. When you visit outside of your family, a bartender does show up and you're able to order drinks. So this is me choosing the menu now. I'm doing it pretty fast. It's I like to take my time, and I really had to look for things that had really cool names, like the Shadow Realm drink. So it's really fun. Appetizers not so much. I just chose some really cool looking ones, or some of the experimental dishes are really fun to add as well. But you got to think about, your chefs are going to suck when they first start. They're not going to have a very high cooking skill, so it's something that you have to build up to. So this will be our first day running the restaurant, and our chef has like a one cooking skill, so a lot of the food sucked. It was a lot of poor food and poor drinks coming out, and they weren't happy, but you got to really strive with service in the beginning and training up those chefs. And for your waiter uniforms, you can pretty much choose anything you want. So I chose sort of these wait staff, old-time, antique-looking, like a medieval restaurant. So our waiters wear this pirate outfit. And I didn't want to do like a wench outfit or anything, so they're wearing a dress for the Raiders. And hostesses, I thought they'd have a fancy title, and so they're wearing the suit of armor, but no helmet. I wanted it to still be personable, and you could see the person who's sending you to a table. So, and now this is when I figured out that, because I didn't want a chef to start with, so I'm like, oh, let's try and see if it works without having a chef assigned, and it does not. So in order for the restaurant to open and successfully run, you need to hire a chef. So I chose this Aaron guy, Aaron Cohen. So he has one bar, one skill level of each cooking and mixology to start off with, and you can choose to pay for their training, which I did pretty much every day that they were working, and then pretty much the next day they would have another skill. So yeah, see, restaurant not functional. So I was like, darn, okay, I can't even be a host either. So because I was hoping not to start off with employees in the beginning and just sort of run it, save some cost. But no, it is part of the whole deal. So I hired this girl, Kaylani, to be the hostess, and there she is right there. So I started off with one of each, I believe, just to sort of test it out. I like our little birch divider there. That's a new item. So that sort of separates that table, get a little bit more private. And we got some cool like antique tomes on the fireplace. I love that candelabra that's on the head table. So I tried to get a variety of tables because there are going to be groups of more than 2. So you want to kind of think of that, have varied options of seating. So I've decided to see if Brittany can go up there and do the mixology and see if anyone uses it, and they have yet to use it, so it was just getting to be a waste of time for me to be up there. But look, there's our first customers down there. They have a neutral 3-star rating every time they enter the restaurant. So your host will seat them to a table. And I have worked out a little system that I like to use. You can either welcome them while they're waiting for a table, or I like to welcome them as soon as they sit down and say, hey, how are you? I hope everything's going well for you. And if you have any questions, if you get the perk that allows you to recommend dishes, that's quite fun. There are a lot of perks, and you do get a lot of points, which I like better than Get to Work, because I find in Get to Work it's so hard to make sales and it's so hard to build up those points that I just use a cheat to get them, because taking time to ring up customers takes forever in the beginning, and it's really hard to make money and get those perks to make things easier. So I really like this, that the restaurants, they get those perks, you get to purchase them, and it makes running things so much smoother. Like you can get the ingredients options where you can choose to have fresh organic stuff with a little plus 10% cost. So it just adds a lot more, and you can get customers that increase their tips, or they're more lax about wait times, which is really great because I only have one chef, and I now have three waiters, I believe, that are all gaining up in their career ladder. Like they're almost at level 4s. My chef is almost at level 10, so he's doing pretty good, and our food is now excellent. So it does take a while, not as long as I thought it would be. Like I was expecting Get to Work, where it's like, oh god, it's gonna be like losing profit every day, and it's gonna be so long before they're up in their skills. But it actually goes pretty fast, and having the opportunity to send them to training is also really good. There's 3 levels of training that you can purchase for them to raise their skills faster. which is really great. I haven't needed to do it in a long time. I haven't really trained my hostess or waiter staff. Just praise them and keep promoting them once their skills, get to a certain level. And there's our first dish going out, and look, Aaron Cohen needs more training to cook everything on the menu, because I did choose some higher skill level stuff, so you can make it easier on him when you start yours, choosing things that are, one difficulty or two maybe, but there's not a lot of options, and they're not fancy. Like, I wanted my menu to be pretty specific and a little bit. So she's got the bacon love something main appetizer, so it's a high level one, so it's probably poor. So Ryan goes over there and says, "Oh, hey, how are you liking your food? Is everything good?" Probably not, because this is our first day and our chef really sucks. But as long as you get some service, look, she's now 4. She's like, the service is really good. We got really high scores in atmosphere in the beginning, and still do. But our rating is now at 4 stars, and a lot of our customers are starting to get 5s when they come and visit, just almost automatically. When they sit down and try the food, by the end of their meal, they have 5 stars above them, and they give us a good review. So it's really fun to try to strive and please them and chat to them. Yeah, she does. This meal definitely does not look good. Yeah, I agree. She's not liking that meal there. So the next step in my strategy is, once they get their food, I go up and use the interaction of check on table and make sure that everything's good with their food and they're liking their experience here. Hello there, lovely patrons. How is your meal? And she's probably saying, "Ugh, it's disgusting." So yeah, there was our first customer leaving. And once the meal is ready, you get your ingredients cost deducted, so that goes into your profits a little bit. But as soon as the customers get their food, they actually pay their bill. So if something happens and they get up and walk away and don't finish their meal, they still you still get paid right away as soon as the meal hits their table, which is nice, because I always feel bad closing the restaurants while they're eating. But as soon as they get their meal, you don't really need to stay if you need to close and it's been like 9 hours, because your employees will get frustrated if you leave your restaurant open. And at one time I switched to another family to play, and I went to visit this restaurant just to see how it flowed, and it flowed very nicely. It was nice to go and sit down, have a meal without having to manage everything. So I tested that out, and pretty much I went back to the family to have another day in the restaurant, and I noticed the restaurant had been open for 42 hours because I played that family for, I guess, that amount of time. And so it said it started losing money, but I made like $2,000 having it open for 42 hours straight. So, because you can have your restaurant open and not be there, which is nice, but the times that I have done it, I have forgotten to close it. So, I kind of like being here though and making sure everything is running. I don't know if that's because I'm in business and I run my own in real life, so I just kind of, I need to be there, I need to be controlling and making sure everyone's happy. It does look weird without the outdoor area, I'm noticing. I'm so glad I added that, because right now we only have the 4 tables, so there wasn't a lot of opportunity for sitting down people. So we've just increased half a star there, so we're 1.5. We've gotten 6 reviews. We've made $72 in profit, which is alright, I guess. So I'm just praising and checking up on all my employees now. Chef's doing pretty well. If you criticize, I've done it to that one raider that you just saw, the blonde one. He started, on one day he just started dropping things and being really not doing his job properly. So I I criticized him. I mean, that's what you do when you're a boss. And he got so mad. He like got into enemy level territory in our relationship and just was like so angry that at the end of the day I fired him. It wasn't helping his performance at all. He was still dropping every single meal that he brought out, so he's gone, and we're still at a very bad relationship level, but he keeps calling me wanting to go on a date, saying that opposites attract and he wants to take my sim on a date, which I think is pretty funny. I've just ignored him because I'm married and I used to be your boss and I fired you, so no, I'm not going on a date with you, thank you very much. So he's out of the picture and we have a new guy and a new girl as well, because I wanted to see that nice dress I picked, the nice brown antique Victorian dress that I picked for the female waiters. And our hostess is still there. She's doing quite well. And so we just have one little table left, do we? And it's about 11 o'clock at night. It's been quite a long day for our little simmies. That's for sure. It's constant, checking up on your customers, making sure they're welcomed, and if they have any recommendations you need to be able to give, because I did get that perk in the end, and they'll show a little icon that says the big question mark, like they don't know what to have, so you get to recommend them. I've had a couple of food critics as well, so that's really fun when they show up and it's obvious. They have a little scroll at the end, at the bottom of their star, and then you just pretty much have to gab them up and make sure they're happy. So these guys just got their food. They're questioning it a little bit. But they do have 4 stars, so that's a plus in my books on our first day of opening. The food may be poor, but the service is excellent. So really strive for that when you're starting out. So here's our guy. He's back. He's gonna clean up the dishes and make sure everything's fine with them. That's so good. Oh, it's been such a long day. It's 1 o'clock in the morning. Our restaurant has been open. I think we started opening 8 hours ago, so it's time to close up. So here's our end of day scorecard or financial report. See how you're doing, how your day went, what you really did well, and what you need to improve on. Really helpful to pay attention to that. Now let's take a closer look at the restaurant with some screenshots. I think it's safe to say that running a restaurant is really hard work. These guys are pretty tuckered out and hungry, so I think I'll let them go home, get some rest, and ready for a brand new day at the Three-Eyed Raven. Thanks for visiting, and remember to give me a like and subscribe if you want to see more, and happy simming.